Well, school's back in session, which means we're going to have many more people, including our children, walking across these roadways. That's why Sterling Heights has implemented all these innovative designs to make that a much safer process, just like this crosswalk here. Hey, Brent.
Hey, Aaron. How you
Good
doing?
to see you.
Yeah,
Doing
good
well.
to see you.
Hey, you want to tell us about this crosswalk?
Yeah, sure. So, you know, we're closing a lot of sidewalk gaps in the city. There's a lot of high profile and high activity with crossings in certain areas, and we're installing these. They're called RRFBs to help make these crossings a little safer.
That is so great. You want to show us how they work?
Yeah, sure. Let's go. Okay, so how these operate, a pedestrian would come to this crossing. You hit this push button right here. The LEDs will flash like strobe lights, and it'll give the driver an awareness that something different is happening here, namely a pedestrian is walking through the crosswalk.
Oh, that is great. And something that's great to know about this is, as a driver, you're not required to stop at these. The lights are flashing just as make you aware.
Okay.
But if a driver on the opposite side does stop and the pedestrian is able to enter the crosswalk, at that point, the drivers are required to stop.
Yes.
But if I'm just standing out here with these flashing, the cars are not required to stop. It isn't until I get in this crosswalk, and so they're required to stop at this point. So now I can safely walk, and the vehicles are required to stop for us.
It's important to note too, when you're a pedestrian crossing these things, when you hit the button, you really need to look both ways and make sure traffic is clear as you normally would at the crossing. Really, the point of these is to notify the drivers and make them aware that something is happening here, to look for pedestrians, and you got to make sure it's safe as a pedestrian to cross.
That is a great point, Brent, because we do get the questions, what do they do as the drivers, as the pedestrians? And yes, as the pedestrian, it is your responsibility to make sure that the traffic either stops for you or that it's clear before you enter the roadway.
And as a driver, it's important to know too, when you see these things flashing, that you're aware that a pedestrian is crossing here, and you're a little bit more cautious about the movements you're making around this area.
And I know we were talking about the school starting, so it's important to know, like right before school, right after school, that's going to be probably the height of when these are being used.
Agree, yep. And we will be installing them with a joint project with Utica Community Schools across Stevenson. So shortly you'll see these push buttons there, and we're excited to create a safer student crossing at Stevenson High School.
That's great, and we do. We appreciate all you guys are doing to make our roads safer.